The Association of Surfing Professionals' goal was for the 1989 world title to be decided in big tubes at the ultimate proving ground, Pipeline, for the very first time in surfing's history. The big barrels would be the perfect stage for a championship showdown. Plus, coming into the event, it would be a three-horse race. Tom Carroll, trying to be the first to regain a title after losing it, Damien, Hardman, the defending world champion, and Barton Lynch, who had been battling to stay in the race all year long. For some reason, the North Shore winter surf was the worst on record in nearly 40 years. As the trials got underway at Aokai Beach Park, all the contenders could do was pray for surf.
I always thought that coming back to Hawaii this year, it was going to, like everyone knew it was going to sort the men out from the boys and all that sort of thing, and it was going to be, to win the world title, you're going to have to put your life on the line, and Damien was going to have to prove himself as a world champ because there was big waves and Tom had the reputation and all that sort of thing. I thought it was going to be really exciting, but so far as it's turned out, I think it's been pretty boring, because the surf's restricted everyone, restricted the performance, it's increased the luck factor, and it's really, it hasn't been the Hawaiian season that I thought it was going to be and that I expected. But, there's still an event to go, so anything's possible. So I hope it's bigger and meaner than anything we've had yet, or something that could actually go down the history books and make it a worthwhile, decent world title race,
I'm pretty sort of intense, and and I have been over the last few days. I guess that all comes with thinking about the peripheral stuff and the stuff that might happen or could happen or will happen or may not happen or whatever. And that sometimes sort of overtakes, but I guess when it all boils down to it, I really try and sort of keep myself relaxed and understand my situation and deal with it as much as possible.
I think I'd have to consider Tom a bit more of a threat ability-wise, but I think Barton's got less pressure on him than me and Tom, so he could be the dark horse. He's in sort of a position that I was in last year, where I was the dark horse and everything focused on everyone else, and I just cruised up and grabbed it. But it's changed this year, and it's sort of me and Tom who've got all the pressure and all the attention, so it makes it a lot more difficult.
Pipeline finally decided to answer the cry. Breaking 8 to 10 feet, the contest was on. The AAA-rated Billabong Pro was more than just a world title decider. Cold hard cash of $100,000 was also up for grabs. While spectators and media turned out in droves to watch, the clean west swell was turning Pipeline into a perfect playground for the competitors. From the very first heats, the action was insane as the surfers got their first taste of real power in a very long time. First up was local Hawaiian Noah Bedreau. Noah was the first surfer who could influence the title race as he went off against Tom Carroll. But Carroll quickly showed his superiority at the pipe with the same style that earned him the Pipe Masters victory in 1987. Defending world champ Damien Hardman had a formidable opponent in Mark Occhilupo. Hardman knew that his reputation in Hawaii was in question. Damien's lack of North Shore experience was evident. As usual, Occhi was aggressive, confident, and stole the show. With long rides like this, Hardman was out of the contest, but still leading by points. All he could hope for now was that Barton Lynch and Tom Carroll would also lose their heats. But Barton quickly dashed those hopes in his opening ride against Sonny Garcia. If anyone could stop Lynch, it might have been the local giant killer Garcia. But the waves, well, they just weren't going his way. On the other hand, Barton had all his game plans covered. That wasn't going to happen now, and as Garcia continued to get shut down and Lynch continued to pick up the right waves, Barton's world title hopes were getting closer to reality. Florida's Todd Holland was the next to get a chance to knock off a title contender, and the young East Coaster was going for it from the onset. Everyone expected Carroll's mastery of the pipeline to easily carry him through his heat. But then the unthinkable happened. With only 2 surfers in the lineup, Carroll was penalized for interference. As Todd Holland took gas on this closeout barrel, Tom Carroll was out of the contest and out of the race with no chance for a world title victory.
Man, he had some speed that was
he was looking outside. I wasn't even looking at the wave, it looked like. So I just thought, oh, it might be a wave. So I hardly even stroked for it, you know.
Sean Thompson has priority in a blue jersey for just 2.5 minutes.
With Damien and Carroll eliminated, Barton was one step closer to the title, but he wasn't there yet. First, he'd have to beat Tom Curran in the quarterfinals. But this was Barton's day, and waves like this carried him through against Curran. For Damien, the worst nightmare was going down, but he still had an outside chance of hanging on to his title. The last step towards victory was a semifinal heat against Glenn Winton. Mr. X is no stranger to pipeline, and with his opening wave, he put Barton on notice that he wasn't going to cut him any slack. But Barton could taste victory by now, and he was charging, picking the best waves and getting barreled every time. Barton was having a magic day, and he was reaching out for the world title victory that had slipped away from him so many times before. With a little victory dance on his last wave, Barton already seemed to know that he'd finally arrived at the end of the rainbow. Barton Lynch's 1989 ASP World Championship was won deep in the tube.
To come so close, I've only won one event so far this year, and I've come close a hell of a lot of times. So to actually have won the world title in a year that, you know, things haven't really gone my way is a great feeling. And to win, first time it's come back to Hawaii, and to win the world title here in Hawaii means a hell of a lot to me.